Hi, I'm Rachel Whitefield, Certified Life Coach, and with me is our resident transformational trailblazer, Jaki Black. Thank you for joining us on another fabulous episode of Whiskey Bent
Spellbound with Black.
and Whitefield.
All right, Rachel, what are we drinking today?
Ooh, we are trying something new today on this show, and we are drinking a whiskey that we both have in our neck of the woods. It is Bullet Bourbon Frontier Whiskey. It is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It's on screen now for our YouTube viewers.
Bullet? Bullet?
Bullet,
Bullet?
Bulleit.
Bullet? I'm pretty sure it's Bullet. It's how
Let me
we,
say Bullet.
it's French. It's
Mm,
French. It's French.
it's fancy.
It's very good.
Very simple bottle. They have raised like glass on the front, it looks like, for their label. And
Yeah, I love this.
they're very simple. I love a less is more. And then they have like a kind of an ombre burnt orange label on the front at a little cockeyed angle. Oh,
I love that they kept it cockeyed because when I first started distilling whiskey back in the day, like this is a little fun fact. They put this label on here crooked on purpose because back in the day when it was first done, they used to put the label on diagonal. So when production started back up,
do you know
they
why
put it on
that
diagonal
why they would put
first.
a label on crooked or diagonal?
Because of it made it more clear, just straight across. They would put it straight across so that they had a bigger space to work with instead of just
Oh,
like they
so
put
they
it
would
from
kind of
corner to
put it,
corner.
yeah, like
Yeah.
kind of vertical diagonal down versus
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
more. That's a clever marketing technique because there's more surface area for your label to be seen. So
Yeah, but these OCD people out here, that is going to bother them, but it is done purposely.
it is on purpose. That's, if anything, better on purpose than an accident. So it's a fresh bottle for me. Mine has been in the freezer, but I got it this morning. So it's chill, but it's not cold. There isn't that sheen of ice that I love on my whiskeys straight out of the freezer. But I'm opening the label. Ooh, and it is a cork. It is a
Yeah, I
cork
love a
topper.
cork. I love a cork on a bottle because my witchy self is going to reuse this.
Oh,
If there's a
it's a good bottle. It reminds me of something like well, of course, reminiscence of Prohibition age. Looks like an old cough syrup bottle.
does like a pharmacy bottle. Let's talk about
Ooh,
these ice molds because
ooh,
I've got
yes.
ice
A
molds this
report.
time too.
You have got ice molds with glitter in them, and
I do.
we match a little
We're
today.
twinning.
We're
What
twinning.
color? What color is your
So I
glitter
have a
this time
rose
in your ice
ice
mold?
mold. However, so again, from Fancy Sprinkles, I bought the pink rose like kit or the color coordinated kit, but
The
this
combo?
actually, yeah, when I was dusting my ice molds with my glitter, I was like, this looks a little different. It's more shimmery than glittery. Experts will know. Glitter experts will know there's a difference between shimmer and glitter. And I
Okay.
noticed I picked it up right away. So I looked at it, and this is actually their Fancy Sprinkles luster powder. It's edible dust. So it's just
Yes.
more of like a micro fine glitter powder. So I'm very looking forward to this. So and my color today is in rose gold. So I have the luster powder, not the edible glitter today, but still Fancy Sprinkles. And I was excited for I'd already started dusting my ice molds. So I was like, I'm
Yeah.
already in it. Let's just see how this works. And maybe
Yeah.
I'll combine the two on the next one to be like, we've reached peak shimmer glitter. So luster powder for me today. I see yours is in the realm of a purple family.
I've got amethyst powdered onto, like, I did exactly what you said to do. I
Mhm.
used a little makeup brush that I'm not going to use anymore.
Nope. Yep.
Sanitized it,
Sanitizer.
dusted the ice mold itself, filled
Mhm.
it with water, and now I have this beautiful glittery, I don't even know. I don't even know if we could show it on the camera, but this beautiful
Yeah.
glittery drink. Let the Lord pour.
I'm letting the spirits pour the spirit today right over, right over. my ice molds. And because I dusted the top of the ice molds, which is the
Mhm.
top of the rose, that luster powder just like melted right into this drink. Oh, I'm just spilling all over today. Ooh,
I really love, oh, yours is very, okay. So
the
yours is a
shimmer.
very beautiful, like
Yeah.
shimmery, and
And
mine is mine looks like sparkles.
yeah.
Yours is like a
And maybe
sheen.
maybe this shimmer powder won't be heavier than the
The
substance,
drink.
the drink, and then it'll stay like suspended in animation inside the drink. We
That
might have
sounds,
cracked the code.
we might have cracked the code
Ooh,
for
yeah.
glitterifying
I'm very excited.
fabulosity
Yes. I'm gonna add
of
another
the
ring because I just
whiskey.
love all the ice. Well, maybe I'm
Yeah, while you do
not.
that, I'm going to talk to you about a little bit of tasting notes before we
Oh,
start having our
yes.
little
This
sip.
is a new whiskey.
In the bottle, we'll notice there's a beautiful amber color. But if
Mhm.
we smell it, remember how we learned how to smell it
Oh,
with our nose and our mouth?
my nose is straight into this bottle right now.
Straight into it. But if you stick your nose and your mouth into your cup, you should be able to like take in a gentle spiciness. There's some sweet
Mm.
oak aromas. And then
A
let's have a
little
taste.
more of a
Clinkies.
slinky. This is more of a gentle on the front of the palate smell, at least for me.
Mhm.
Mm.
So it's super smooth. There is
Ooh.
tannic right at the edge of that, right
Mm-hmm.
when we drink it. But there's notes of maple and oak and like just a little like touch of nutmeg, which I love at the I don't know, I feel that nutmeg at the sides of my mouth.
Oh,
And then
that's
at the
nice.
end, it's like satin with coffee.
Little satin. Satin's such a perfect word because using this luster
Mm-hmm.
day,
That was the word I was looking for. It looks satiny.
it looks satiny. And then it just swirls so like beautifully as I swirl my glass with my ice in it. It is
Oh,
like it is like a satin cloud. Like wispy clouds inside of
yes.
my whiskey. Oh, wispy.
A wispy whiskey. We gotta write
Oh,
that one down,
someone's
sister.
going in the book. It's I what a pleasant
Love it.
surprise. Because me, I'm kind of more of like Rachel gets a little stuck in her ways and she's just like, but this isn't my glitter. But again, it's shimmer. How could I be upset about it? But
You're not.
oh, this is just a pleasant surprise for me
Might have
today.
taken it. Listen, this might have taken it up a notch for
It
you.
did.
The way you're reacting.
And now I'm gonna combine the two. Mm.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. We got to think of our own drink to combine the two, like our own whiskey drink, and put it out there for our listeners to follow along with. I think
Oh,
they'd love it.
it'll be great. It'll be fantastic. Well, we
Oh,
have our whiskey today.
yeah,
It's a special episode, Jackie. What are we
it
gonna talk
is.
about?
Well, no, you got to tell them what we're talking about because at this point, I'm a little nervous for this episode because I know what it entails. So you go ahead and let them know, and then we're gonna get into it.
We're gonna get into it today. Today, dear listeners, it will be a real time life coaching session with Jackie. So Rachel Whitefield, am a certified life coach, um, and certified professional coach as well. And so we will be talking the differences between life coaching and therapy, how it might be beneficial to you, and then go through a real time life coaching session with Jackie and to see what it's all about and if life coaching is for you. And we can go from there. So are you ready to dive in, Jackie?
Not at all, but here we go.
Here we go.
Listen, I know I'm nervous because big changes
Mhm.
are scary. And I've been through so many and they make me super nervous just because I know that um, change comes with a lot of sacrifice. And sometimes not sometimes, it's uncomfy. And you got to sit in the shit, as Rachel likes to say. So
Mhm.
I'm nervous, but I'm excited as well because I really feel like it's going to help me springboard into 2024.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So, let me just start out by saying if for my clients, I do not have a libation with me during your session. That is just the exception to the rule today on the podcast for Whiskey Bent Spellbound, because we have a little whiskey tasting. So this is a little bit different, but let me just go and kind of go over what life coaching is. So it is not therapy. So I am not trained to diagnose anything, any sort of behavioral patterns like that. However, life coaching is focused on moving towards the future. So we don't look back to your past and unpack everything. However, for me personally, and this varies from life coach to life coach, I don't mind my clients giving me a little backstory or context of why they might have these behavior patterns or whatnot. However, again, I'm not trained to unpack any of that. But life coaching is focused, it's future focused. It's what do you want? Where are you now and where do you want to be? Not where have you been? So my clients can tell me about their past to give me context. However, that is all it is just for context. So when you talk about life coaching, what my clients tend to be is when they are future focused, they've already been through therapy. They've already really unpacked some of that difficult stuff and they're ready to move forward. They're like, okay, I've done the work. I know, like, I have healed myself, but I'm kind of stuck in how to move forward, how to
Right.
have that, you know, forward thinking, that momentum of like, okay, I've sat in my own shit, but I'm ready to take the next step. So it's like, okay, how do we move into the next phase of our life? And so it's really like, for my clients, they have to be ready to move forward because, again, like life coaching, we can validate your feelings if you're like, I do feel stuck or I do feel like minimized or whatnot. But we're also not here to co-sign on your bullshit and just let you spin your wheels either. Like, people
Right.
pay me good money per session and to help them move forward and get unstuck, to be their best selves, you know? And so with my practice, with everything, it's like, I'm not here to waste anyone's money. I want someone who is serious about making changes to their life, you know? And then how can we best move forward together for
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
So that's just a little thing I would say to all my clients. But yeah, it makes perfect sense that you do feel a little trepidatious, a little anxious, because again, you're saying, I'm ready to step out of my comfort zone. So what is that going to mean? You are then going to get uncomfortable. And
That's
that's the
right.
right place to be. And the fact that you're choosing to be uncomfortable instead of life just making you uncomfortable. And then you're like, it's making the choice for me. And I want to just go back into my comfy space.
Right.
No, you get to choose on your time when you're ready to move forward into the next chapter of your life. So again, it's kind of like that accountability partner, but also because I have a very significant, deep, years deep background of small business entrepreneurship. I also do deal with small business mentorship as well, because life coaching isn't going to tell you what to do. But when I deal with small business mentorship of like, hey, you need to get an LLC, or this is how you do that. So then that would be more guidance based
Yeah.
of life coaching versus mentorship. So that is my spiel. So Jacqueline, are you ready to jump into it?
I mean, I guess I gotta be. So here we go.
Yes.
Here we
Okay.
go. Because I have been in therapy for quite some time. I really, I want to look forward to becoming the best version of myself now, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't really been giving myself what I think I need. I don't know if that makes sense in order to become the best version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that this is going to really put some um, fire under my ass, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. So Jackie, just so we get on the same page about something, so we
okay.
tend to speak the same language to each other. I might ask you to expand on something that you mean, just so I know what you mean. Because if you say something, I might know what that means to me in my mind. However, I want to know what that means to you. So I might ask you to explain things so I very much exactly know where you're coming from and what you want to do. I also
Okay.
said, do you have a notebook that you can take your own notes on?
I do have one.
You do have one, because this is important. Um, so first starting off, um, what do you see as a successful coaching session? Like, how will we know that we are successful at the end of this time today, and but also at the end of our sessions when we check in together?
I feel like I'll have a couple of steps, maybe big, maybe small, maybe some homework to complete that will get me to those next steps in order to kind of get towards the goals that I'm looking at
Mhm.
and looking towards. Um, I have I really wanted to do the life coaching session because for some reason I have trouble with creativity when I'm just talking to like a therapist. So when it comes to my goals, I know that I need somebody to bounce off of. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Um, in order to like move towards them. I know we've talked a couple of times outside just life coaching, and you've said some things where I've been like, oh, yep, I got to do that next. And then I wrote it down and I did it next. And it's been helpful. So I know that by doing the life coaching sessions, it'll help me get those goals together, kind of verbalized, maybe even out loud. Maybe I've been afraid of saying them out loud. And I think that'll really make me feel like I'm getting what I need out of it.
So why don't we talk about your goals? So I
Okay.
know you've mentioned a few of them. I believe you're waiting to talk about them specifically on the podcast. So I haven't heard them. So do you have one main goal you want to work forward to, or is it a few?
Um, I think I think my primary goal, the one that really just makes you like to use the phrase a butt puckering
Mhm.
is I really don't want to live. I don't want to go with the flow anymore.
Mhm.
I know that it's time for me to start facing the big hard steps that I need to take in my life because I have wanted to travel for so long and I have opportunities coming up next year where I will be traveling. But I can't do it unless I take some pretty hard steps. Um, going out of the country besides Mexico, you know what I'm saying? Being really proactive and saving my own money, and making it work for me rather than like living paycheck to paycheck or, paycheck to 2 days before paycheck sometimes.
Mhm.
Um, so my real big goal genuinely is to save money so that I can be comfortable traveling.
Okay. So saving money so you can feel comfortable traveling. And
Correct.
earlier you said, I don't want to go with the flow anymore.
I don't.
What does going with the flow mean to you? What pattern there do you want to break?
My pattern is avoiding important things that I could be getting done. I'm wasting time. So after work, I could be being more productive and I procrastinate. I have these goals like I want to be saving money. I want to be working more on the podcast. I want to be working more on my school. And getting towards that, graduation. I'm in grad school and I feel like I'm only giving 70%. And I know I could be doing so much more. So I don't know where I was going with that. I
So
feel like I'm just giving 70% of myself
is
and giving up.
70% all you have to give, or are you just skimming by with, oh, this will do well, and I can
That
pass my class with 70%?
that is it. Maybe not pass my class at 70%, but I can do 70% of the work at my job and still be okay and not get fired. I can do 70% effort. I can give 70% effort in school and I'll still get an A, but will I have learned everything I needed to learn? I'm giving 70% in my own personal life, by, not making the appointments I need to make for myself, um, meeting the people that I need to meet, um, things like that. I'm not putting myself in situations that can better me. Instead, I'm staying home
Mm-hmm.
and
And
avoid.
when you say, "Oh, I'm giving 70%, giving back," so what percentage are you available for to give? Like, is giving quote unquote 100% sustainable to you? Or are you trying to be like, I just want to be, you just show up more. So if 70 is 75% more acceptable?
I would really like to be at 95% because I know it's there. At a minimum, I'd like to keep I can give myself a 5% time, to relax. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't need to relax anymore. I need to stop using the I need to relax excuse because I'm wasting time not accomplishing the things I know I can accomplish because I'm procrastinating by allowing myself to just relax.
Give a
And
little
I know that
deserve
sometimes
it.
you need to relax, but at this point in my life, I have bigger things that I want to do. And I spoke with a millionaire once.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and one of the things that he told me was that he gets up and he writes his goals for the day, and then he doesn't go to sleep until he accomplishes them and he gives it 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And the man's 40 and has been doing that since he's been raising his own. He raised his kids by like his first child that he had when he was his baby's mom had when they were 15, and she kind of disappeared. Like she left him with the baby and he's been raising him ever since. And then, he's an adult now. But he took that moment and it could have been hard for him. And instead, he didn't, he went against the give up grain of things, which a lot of people would do, and worked really, really hard. And I know that if I hadn't had this mindset, like I'm going to give it a minimum 95%, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I would be much farther in my career than I am now. And now we have this new big thing that we're starting. And I know I want to give this 3000%. But, we have to start small and get there. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to get there. And I know that I need to start showing up for myself and for you and for this business and my job and my school instead of just relaxing. Because there's bigger things that we want to do, that I want to do with my life. And it's just time. Because I didn't get a chance to give this to myself when I was in my 20s. So I'm like ready to run.
And what do you think it would feel like or look like to you if you gave 95%? What do you think your life would look like? How would you feel?
I probably would feel, I'm probably going to feel a little bit more stress. And I think that I'm ready for it. I think I'm okay with it because I know that that stress is going to come with big decisions, like for our business. Um, it's going to come with me finishing my graduate degree.
Mhm.
Like, I really want to graduate at a minimum summa cum laude. I graduated with my business degree summa cum laude. I'd like to graduate with my master's degree summa cum laude. That means I have to give way more effort that I'm giving now. So that's one thing that's scaring me is how much effort I need to put into my school in order to graduate with that. I need to save more money.
Mhm.
So feeling like I have saved money, I think is going to make me feel really good.
Mhm.
Because I don't think I've put enough importance on it. Like, don't get me wrong, I have a retirement, but I don't have an emergency fund
Mhm.
because I spend it on dumb shit when I could be spending it on the business. I could be investing it. You know what I'm saying? So
So you've listed two, of not going with the flow or investing or giving more effort, perhaps, and then saving money. So and it's great to have more than one goal you want to focus on. Everybody does, a lot of people do. So what is the priority out of the two for you in this session today? They can both be a top priority.
Okay.
However, what do you want to focus on in the time that we have together today?
I would like to focus on the money part
The
because
money.
I think it's something that a lot of women in today's world, really think about, like being financially independent and set. And I know that I am making decisions that are going against that. So I really like to focus on that.
And then when you talk about money, right now it is a very abstract goal from what I'm hearing from you. So, what does saving money mean to you? Is it an X amount? Do you want to start investing? What in your mind, to explain it to me, is saving money?
My,
Be good with money.
okay, okay. My big goal is to travel.
Okay.
My big, big goal. And if I want to do it, I have to give up things I enjoy. Um, I have to put all of that 100% effort into myself, um, into giving up a lot of things that I enjoy.
Mhm.
So I want to travel, and I think the saving money, giving up the extra things that I enjoy is going to be like the big thing.
But do you have, it could be like, oh, I want to travel. Do you have a date in mind? Do you have a trip in mind? Do you have X amount of money that you know you need to save?
Yes. So
We're drilling
I
down,
have to, I
Jacqueline.
have to be, oh gosh, okay. I have to be in Florida in May. I have to be in England in June, and I have to be in Norway in September.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I need, at a minimum, for each trip to Europe, I need $2,000 each. Now, I only need that because I have family that lives there. So, and I'll also be able to work from there. So I'll still be getting a paycheck, but I have to give up things in order to do these other things. For Florida, I I think we've decided on 2000, and that's like a cushy, because again, I'm going with a bunch of people. It's split up, so it's a little bit less expensive.
Mhm. And okay, so now we have a firm goal of $2,000 per trip to go. Um, in within 5 months, your first 2,000. You keep saying, I'm gonna have to give up stuff. I'm gonna have to give up stuff. In your mind, one, you don't have to say it out loud here.
Okay.
Do you know what you're gonna give up? And have you worked out the finances of those things that you are giving up? One, can you give up those things? And two, does that offset your goals to move forward to Florida? Does it get you halfway there? Does it get you over there, over the goal line?
So it gets me over the goal
Mhm.
if I give up the things that I am giving up.
Mhm.
So, I don't know, should I list them, or is this something, is that this step that we're on
This
already?
is your session, and you know that this
Okay.
is an open session.
Yes.
So you have mentioned them to me, and I
Okay.
don't know what they are.
Okay.
However, it's your level of vulnerability that you want to talk about to
Okay.
our audience.
All right.
And I will respect
So,
whatever choice you make. This is
okay.
your
So I'm going to be 100% open because I know that a lot of people deal with this stuff. I am going to give up on the preface. I'm in a state that it's 100% legal. as long as you have a medical card. So I do, because I have a pretty severe cervical spine injury. So I am going to be giving up smoking marijuana, purchasing marijuana for myself. This is probably my biggest extra expense that I feel like I could probably live without. I feel like I can live without it for a couple of reasons. Now, I definitely use it for pain, but I also think it is lending to the fact that I am just going with the flow. I'm not trying extra. I'm procrastinating. I'm just relaxing. I need to stop because it also, I think, is making my mind less creative. And I love that part of myself, how creative and out of the box I can get. I'm also spending at a minimum $500 per month on it, $250 per paycheck. So right off the bat, in 2 months, I have $1,000. In 4 months, I have $2,000. That right away is one whole trip. Um, it's going to be really hard because I'm going to be very honest with you. I was a chain smoker, you know, like as soon as I was off work, I was smoking until I got up till I went to sleep.
Oh, you're
And
sorry, you medical marijuana.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. To deal with the pain, I sit a lot. So I've been instead, and I've talking about it on the show the past couple of months, going to the gym every day. And I have slowly been smoking less, and I've noticed that I'm not in as much physical pain when I'm lifting weights. And I hate it in there. Y'all, I hate the gym. I am complaining the entire time. I put down the weights and I tell them, I hate you as soon as I put them down. Fuck that exercise. I say it out loud. People at the gym think I'm crazy that I'm in there every day. And ever since then, my body has hurt less. The stronger my muscles are, the less my bones hurt. So I feel really confident in being able to give it up. And it's one of those things where it's very easy to get, you know, but I have to make the effort to get it. And if I put my effort, that effort that I'm putting into get that into something else like my school reading, because it takes an hour to get there to go get what I need, I'm going to take that hour instead to do my school reading. And I'm going to take that $250 instead and send it to the family savings account because we have one of those. The family savings account for travel where I can't touch it. It's gone. It's out of the bank account. That's the big step I'm taking. I'm literally sending it lock and key to one person the one person who has access to that account. And I have to send it through a person to get to that person. So getting it out, it's like, why? She really just rips me a new one when I try to take money out of there. So yeah. So I feel like that's like a pretty big thing that I'm going to be giving up to take that big step.
Okay.
The next one, even though this is Whiskey Bent Spellbound, I love whiskey, don't get me wrong, and I love having a drink with you every single Wednesday, and then Tuesday when our show airs. This will be all I'm drinking from now on. Is when we're doing our show. We do our tastings, or if we're doing something like a tasting, like we did with Glenfiddich, or when we go to tour the distilleries, things like that, work related. I have noticed that I have been buying a box of wine per week. I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop that. I will buy one box of wine per month. If I get through it before the end of the month, then that's it. That's it. And that's another like $40. every time or every other week. So they're like 20, I think, per
Yeah, here
bottle.
they're around $20,
Yeah.
you know.
So if I'm buying two per payday,
Yeah.
I'm done doing that. I'm done
Yeah.
buying two per payday, just one. So the next step, there's a list because I went through my finances in prep for this show,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm spending 70% of what I make on shit like this that I don't need.
Mm-hmm.
The binge shopping. I'm stopping. I haven't stopped yet because we're filming this before the new year, but
It'll come out in the new year.
yeah, yeah. Um, 2024, no binge shopping online. If I
Mhm.
have to buy something from Amazon, if I have to, then I will. But it won't be the late night scrolling. It won't be none of that. If I need new clothes, I have self-determined to go to the Goodwill, you know, a thrift store if I need something. Necessities only, because all of that extra money could be going to seeing other countries. So those are the big financial things that I'm doing to reach my like travel goal.
So it's one big goal with a lot of sub goals underneath it, it sounds like.
It kind of feels like it. And so that's why I feel like I need a little bit of like, how do I, how do I start? How do I prioritize? How do I keep focused on that?
Mm-hmm. Because again, I'll take you back to the beginning because saving money, but it's not just saving money. It's saving money to travel. It's saving money to feel better. It's to drink less, to smoke less. So there are these big things and there's other things underneath it, you
Mm.
know. So do these goals, obviously they feel scary and uncomfortable, but in a good scary, good uncomfortable.
Yeah,
These are your proactive choices.
yeah, I just feel like it's time for time for me to change.
Hmm.
You know, I've been trying to, it's uncomfortable saying this. I think I've been trying to solve my problems by relying on everybody outside of me. Uh,
Yeah.
Dating,
Can you expand?
trying to be married, trying to be in a relationship. Been trying to solve maybe my financial problems, maybe my emotional problems. I don't know, but being reliant outside of myself, and maybe somebody else will come in and solve my problems.
Mm.
That's what it is. Maybe somebody else will come in and solve my problems. And that is just not the way this works. And I think maybe because I have been waiting or searching for that, maybe that's why I'm so stuck.
Why does solving your own problems now resonate with you?
I'm 40 and I'm so ready for my life to change. I'm so ready for it to change. I'm so ready for it to start almost. We talked a lot about how I had kids when I was really young and didn't get to do a lot. And I focused outside of myself for so long that I think it's really like they're doing really good. It's time for me to focus on what I really want out of my life. I hear a lot, do um, what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. I love this. This is what I want to do. I can't do this for a living unless I change now. I have to change. I have to focus on giving up the things that are extra that I don't need because it's going to make me uncomfortable enough to make that change. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Sometimes I talk and I don't think I make sense.
No, I love it. Yeah. So we know what hasn't worked for you or has been working for you to mask or as a distraction, dating, smoking, drinking.
Distraction. That's a good word. Shopping.
Mm-hmm.
These are all real big distractions that not only, dang, calling it a distraction really clicked in my head. Big distractions that not only have been slowing my own progress down, but inhibiting me from really becoming my full and best self. And I
Look
gotta
at you
give it up.
go.
God, ugh, I'm sweating now.
Because this is what I always say. I was like, you have to be ready to sit in the shit. Like you have to know and to be able to sit in that uncomfortable feeling and to also know that like this is making me a better person. And I also want to remind you that emotions are cyclical. Like, yes, this feels very uncomfortable, but you're like, oh, the only way the past is through it. I can't go around it. Can't go over it. Can't go under it. You got to go through it. And I'm very, very proud of you. And you must feel so proud of yourself.
I am really proud of myself. I'm excited. I'm getting emotional. Hold on. I don't even know why. Okay. Because January 2023 Jaki would not recognize December 2023 Jaki. I want December 2024 Jaki to recognize and be proud of where Jaki 2023 Jaki in 2024 in January is by December, by making these choices. I want to look back and be like, I knew I needed to make those choices. I knew I needed to make those steps and recognize that.
Why
I have a
wouldn't,
vision.
why wouldn't December Jackie recognize last January's Jackie? What's changed?
Everything, everything has changed. I did not love myself in January of this past year, 2023. I was just trying to survive at that point. I was desperately hoping, maybe like blindly, that this man would somehow magically love me. And I was only focused on that. That is not something I give two fucks about anymore. I love myself now. I feel like I know myself so much better right now than I did back in January. So I know that next December, this time next year, it's going to be a whole different ball game for who I am. I'm still going to be fabulous. I'm still going to be dark. I'm still going to be the classiest Morticia-esque dark vixen succubus you've ever seen.
Yes.
But I'm going to have accomplished something that I wanted to accomplish my entire life, which is seeing some other fucking country besides the United States and Mexico. There is so much more out there. And I can't do that unless I make those big steps, change who I am as far as like the stuff I don't really like about myself.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm hearing, it's not just about, oh, I want to travel. It's about who you'll feel you are when you travel.
Yeah,
Who is that
I
person?
know I worldly knows, has seen other countries, immersed herself in other cultures, learned about local traditions. I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to see the older part of this planet. Like, this is a very young country as far as history goes. Like, I know that it was a country before it was this country, but this is the only history we have.
Mm-hmm.
If I go over to Europe, there is hundreds of thousands of years of history that still exists, and I want to see it. I want to be a part of it. I want to feel what it feels like to be in another country that is on the other side of the world, that isn't America isn't westernized the way America is. Experience the people in those cultures. And I know that it's going to change me fundamentally in my heart of hearts. I know she's there. The girl who's well-traveled, who saves her money, who doesn't spend it on bullshit that makes her lazy and wastes money on crap I don't need. I don't need it. I don't need to binge shop. I need to save. I also think it's going to make me a little bit more focused on my career goals by doing all of that. I think that's just a byproduct.
So you see 2024 Jaki,
I do.
and you want to catch up to her.
Ugh, I know she goes to the salon. You know what I'm saying? And gets a blowout.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
She gets on flights and has stamps in her passport. She knows how to make pasta from scratch because she learned from a grandma in Italy. Well-traveled, business owner, MBA graduate, all of that. I know that's in December of 2024. I know she's there. I
How will
want to
you
meet her.
know? How will you know you've met her? How will you know you are her?
I've done the work. I've saved that money. I've seen the balance in that account. You know, I've put the stamp in the passport, got on that plane, went to Europe, experienced it. I'm supposed to go there for 2 months. I can't do that unless I do this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be hard. It's hard stuff to give up.
And so, how will you make yourself accountable to these goals of saving more money or not partaking in certain things?
Well, I
Easy
have
to
a really,
say, I'm not going to do it. How are you
yeah,
holding yourself accountable?
luckily for myself, I have a couple of really judgy people to check in with who have already told me goals too that I'm afraid of.
Present company included and excluded at the same time.
At the same exact time. First of
Mhm.
all, my youngest sister, my baby sister, is currently the reason why I get to go to England is because she's studying in York, right?
Mhm.
I want to be like her when I grow up. And she is 10 years younger than me. She's getting her PhD, right?
Mhm.
Why? Because she's prioritized her goals and focused on them. And I'm in awe of how she just accomplishes her goals. So I told her I was gonna quit the smoking, and now she's extremely judgy about whether or not I do that. And that's scary for me. I cannot let her down. Okay.
Mhm.
I also have told you, my best friend, of my goals. So even though you're doing the life coaching, I'm glad that I have somebody to check in with. I think that's super important because if I don't have somebody to keep accountable to, I won't do it.
Mhm.
I'll say I'm going to do it and then I'll be like, so luckily I have somebody to
But
be. I
yeah.
have, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'll give myself excuses like, I deserve this. I need to relax. No, I don't. You need to relax, do a puzzle, you
Yes,
know?
but I want to be very clear that it's like, how are you keeping yourself accountable? Again, you're looking outwards
I am.
to people to keep
Okay.
you on your quote unquote straight and narrow. However, these are your choices that you make. And as your life coach, I'm like, whatever you do, that's up to you. Again,
Right.
I can validate your feelings. I'm not going to sign off on your bullshit, especially as you're stepping out for a second to be your bestie and
Right.
business partner. It's like, you know,
You've never validated my bullshit.
no,
That's one good thing about you is that you
validate your
never,
feelings, not
right.
validate your bullshit. Those are two separate things, you know.
Yeah.
However, it's more of you're still looking outward.
So
What are you doing?
so I'm a visual person.
Mhm.
So one thing that I did do was I bought a budget planner thing
Mhm.
so that I am constantly filling it out. I have somebody to keep accountable as far as like, did you fill it out? You know what I'm saying? Or I
Mhm.
filled it out, or I can show you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then I can see how good I'm doing, you know? So I
Yeah.
did that for myself. I have put away everything as far as like where I used to keep all of my accoutrement for smoking. All of it is put away in
Mhm.
storage. Um, I don't know what.
This is just a suggestion. Do you have an auto transfer set up for that $250 already?
I
Does
don't,
that
but that's a
go
great
into a high,
idea.
does that go into a high yield savings account so you can get, passive income for the interest that's compounds on that?
So the account that we transfer to,
Mhm.
what I do is it's a family account.
Mhm.
The scary little sister is the only person who has access to it.
Mhm. Okay. I
Remember
believe
how I
she's
said
very smart. She's very smart.
she's PhD,
She's
okay?
good. Okay.
And scary.
So in your book, we're going to talk about your takeaways and your action steps of what
Okay.
you of just some people don't like the word homework, but we're going to talk about an action step. So when we leave this session, you have a plan, a firm,
Okay.
concrete plan of something you can do between now and the next time we meet.
Okay.
So, and again, just throwing out ideas. There's not anything you need to do, but how does setting up automatic payments sound to you?
It actually sounds really good because then I don't even have to think about it. It just happens. It's
Mhm,
gone.
mhm,
And I could even go a step further and have that auto transfer just come straight out of my paycheck and set it up so that it goes just into that account.
mhm,
I could do that, which would make it even better because then it won't even account to me in my head. It'll just be out of the paycheck.
mhm,
And my job lets me set up at least four, like I can split up my paycheck in a certain amount
mhm.
into four different accounts. So I could probably just do that. And I think that's a great idea.
And I, w- the fact that you're kind of trimming something out that you may not already, like, you're not going to miss the money because you're not
Right.
living beneath any means that you already are currently living,
Right.
so
That actually
your life comfortability doesn't
doesn't change. And I
change.
don't have to think about it. It's already just going.
Mhm,
It's just automatically saving. I don't miss it. I won't even count it into my budget to have to say goodbye to it. And
mhm.
then on top of that, I don't have the ability to pull it back.
So what do you have to do to accomplish that?
I just have to do that at work. I have to set that up through my paycheck, through like their online workday system.
Okay.
That
And
takes 5 minutes. That's easy.
do you have a day by which you want that accomplished?
I would like to do that this week since it's the beginning of the year.
Mhm.
So I want to do that by Friday because this is the start of the pay period. So it'll come out by next paycheck.
Okay. And so how will that feel to you once you set that up, that automatic
I feel like
transfer?
that's gonna feel really good.
Mhm.
You know, it's gonna suck because my paycheck's gonna dip a little bit, but at the same time, I get an annual raise, so it might just balance out. It might just balance out.
Yes. But Jackie, you
What?
don't have 250 extra dollars.
I don't.
Could you, because again, looking back, you have your trip in my notes here, May, June, and September. You know you're going to have enough money for May,
Right.
and then June is right after that.
Right.
You have enough money. If you added your raise into that and you currently live on your standard of living.
That increases it.
Yes.
You're so smart.
Mm, not just a hat rack, my friend.
Include.
And so
Okay,
my
so I'm
clients come to
including,
me.
even if it's like the 250,
Mm-hmm.
And then whatever percentage of the raise, even if it's just like $50, 50
Plus
extra
the
dollars.
additional 40 for the wine.
That's right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So you're at 290.
Okay.
Plus, if you do an additional $10, you're at $300.
Even if I just round it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's per paycheck.
Yes. Yes.
So with that, with no additional money going into it by May or by June, England, you're already with your lifestyle staying the same and not necessarily adding your raise in, just rounding up.
Mhm.
You're already Florida is paid for and June is already half paid for because you're at $3,000.
Jesus. Do you see? Like, this is why I needed this. This is why I need somebody to put it in this perspective.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're going to automate minimum $300 per paycheck into your family account.
Yes.
And then so you don't have to worry about transferring that or talking yourself out of it, or you need a little
That part.
treat.
That
That's up to
second
you.
part, talking myself out of it. That's my worst trait, saying I'm going to do it with the next one or whatever, you know? So there's another paycheck that I get. I get an allowance for school.
Mm-hmm.
That is typically extra money, but I think I'm going to use that just to start paying down my credit card so I have that available.
Mm-hmm.
But what I could do is I could split it in half. It's 800 per month. I could
Mm-hmm.
split it in half and throw 400 at debt and then also put 400. But I don't know if that's too big of a step. Do you think that's too big of a step too?
That's up to you. However, again, it's not for me to tell you what to do. However, as your
Right.
friend, I kind of walk a weird line. To me, I always focus on one goal.
Okay.
So if I say, like right now, I want to say, like, build up my personal savings account to be X amount of dollars, and then I will go towards my debt. So if you have no available debt on a card, that's one thing to pay that down. However, you said your primary goal is to travel.
Yeah.
And we know that maybe just making these cuts won't get you there in time. However, if you feel comfortable where your credit card is currently, you can throw everything towards that travel goal and then you can have it all funded. Right now you're talking $300 a paycheck. Let me get my calculator out. So we're talking $300 a paycheck times twice a month, right? 600. And then you're talking another $800. So you're at $1,400 times 5. You're already by May, you're at 7 grand. So if you in 6 months, you could have every single trip paid for because you only said you needed 6 grand. And then by the time June rolls around, you already have your trips funded. And by June, you can then start paying down your credit cards because you already have your trips funded.
With the extra money.
Yes.
You're so right.
And especially just however you are with your credit cards, you're not going to be binge spending or late night scrolling, you know? So then you're like, okay, whether you make those minimum payments, whatever it is, within 6 months, and if you stick to this budget plan, you can then say, I don't have any trips to pay for. So then you can just put that towards debt or what have you. And again, your lifestyle hasn't changed.
Right. Kind of though, because I used to waste time by just sitting and smoking and scrolling. And now,
However, going back, and we're going to start to wrap this up because our time is
yeah.
coming to an end. But again, you have it in mind who December 2024 Jaki is.
hmm
And how are you going
This
to
is
meet her? How
not
do you
sitting and
become
smoking.
her?
hmm
So again, it just fast tracks you to be who you want to be in a year.
Love that. I
How do
love
you
I'm
How do you
excited.
feel about today's session?
Well, I didn't know how this was going to go. I'm going to be very honest with you. I was like prepared and not at the same time. Like I knew what my goals were. Sometimes I didn't know how to like really verbalize it. But now I feel like I have a plan. Like I didn't. Like I genuinely did not know. Like I knew I bought my budget planner. I knew I was going to give stuff up, but I didn't know how I was going to really just accomplish what I really wanted to accomplish. And now I feel like this isn't all the steps, but this is a really good step to get me going and like start steamrolling. You know what I'm saying? Like towards that big goal of just meeting myself where I want to be. And even though it's so simple, like I didn't have it before we started. So I'm really excited.
So how do you
I'm
feel
really excited.
now as opposed to when we first started? You were very anxious, very nervous. How do you feel now? What's your
I
energy level
feel
like now?
I feel super focused,
Hmm.
actually. I feel like, oh, okay. I know what I'm gonna do now. Now I know what I'm gonna do. Empowered. That's the word. I feel empowered.
That's very
That's the
exciting.
word. Yeah, that's the word I want to use. I feel like I have a path. I have all those things I listed I wanted to change. Like, it's scary giving up stuff like that, quite
Mm.
frankly. Like, we all know, like, imagine just raw dogging this planet. I can't. I couldn't. And now I'm gonna.
You couldn't
And
go
that's
with
one
the
of
flow
those
a moment longer.
I couldn't. I can't go with the flow. Like if I find myself sitting, now I'm just gonna be like, nope, we gotta do something. We gotta do something for school. We have to do something to get me towards these goals because now I have the time. I was taking care of kids before, focusing on external things. I do not have that type of not distraction, but responsibilities that I have to focus on. I can focus on these big things. And now I feel empowered to move towards those goals. And I
Excellent.
got some really scary people keeping me in line
But in the best way.
in
So
the best way.
I will conclude our life coaching session now on this podcast because we're about 45 minutes right now. We could always go a little bit farther, but again, we don't have to go the entire hour, but it's also like, did you get out of it what you wanted from it, what you needed, what you thought you could do, you know?
Yes, I know I did. I for sure did. And I'm telling you, I did not know what you were going to say to me in this session. I did not know because you kind of, I don't know if you've been low key life keep coaching me or if that's just who you are as a person naturally.
I think a little
But this
both. A
a little bit,
little bit
but
of both.
this like super focused in like, no, I'm life coaching you now, was really, really fun and scary at the same time. But I
And
liked it. I wanted to get sit in the shit. I
mhm,
did want that.
to be to have a different outcome, you have to do something different. Like, what is it? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. Like, we might be insane, but we're not. We might be crazy, but we're not insane.
I'm definitely not. And I have been doing the same stupid shit over and over. And quite frankly, I'm 40 and I needed somebody to be like, stop it, turn this way and go that way.
This is what life coaching is about for those who like, I feel like I always say it as like, I'm spinning my wheels in neutral. Like, I'm all revved up and I want to do something. I just don't know how to like drop it into gear. I don't know how to move forward and I'm just spinning my wheels. So I get stuck. And I really like bouncing ideas off somebody, especially having a bestie here. Like I said, like for our listeners, I wanted to be a life coach for 5 years. 5 years, I was like, I need to do it. And I kept talking myself out of it. And finally, I was like, thanks to you, I was like, no, I'm gonna, like, you held me accountable. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So, oh, I cannot wait for the spellbound portion of this show. I see you shuffling those cards. I am so excited. Oh
And
my
two
God.
cards already popped out that are kind of
I
freaking me out. So
feel
it's
like
fine.
we are going to get the blessings abound today.
I know. I know we are. Okay. All right.
Yes. So are you ready,
I'm
Jacqueline?
so ready. I gave it the 3 knocks.
Oh, yes.
Remember, I have a new set of cards. So this one has
You
spheres in
do.
it. 6 of spheres. Isn't that an interesting looking card too for our
That's so
listeners?
pretty too.
These hands look like they're up against some glass.
So the six of sphere. Okay.
6 of spheres. Now, oh, another 6. I swear to God, if I get another 6, I'm gonna lose it. This
Okay.
one is the 6 of wands.
Six of spheres, six of wands.
And then this one is justice.
Wands and
Isn't
just.
that interesting? Okay.
Okay. So walk
Again,
us through it because I don't
yeah,
know.
I've never had a tarot with spheres, and I'm really still learning these. So let's talk about the 6 of spheres together. Um, okay. So the 6 of spheres, it looks like, so I showed it again. They're just
Mm-hmm.
hovering in darkness while the figure presses its palm against the card to show its fate, and it symbolizes wealth. It symbolizes success. It symbolizes being grateful for that, for what you've achieved, which we talked earlier about how January Jaki wouldn't recognize December Jaki.
But
And
I'm
that this
gonna
is,
take that
ooh,
as you want to meet 2024 December Jackie with wealth, success, and to be
I
grateful
was just gonna
about
say
her.
that. Girl, are you reading the cards or am I? You're really getting
Mm.
it. Like they're speaking to you for real.
They're
That's
speaking to
exactly what
me about you and our session today.
well, I think it has yeah. I think it has a lot to do. It can be really, if we really think about it, this new year is starting.
Yeah.
And this is a whole other chapter for a lot of people. It's the end of a Chinese cycle. It's the
Hmm.
beginning of a brand new cycle of humanity. This is wealth abundant waiting for us.
Hmm.
Let's talk about
Oh,
the
the six of
wands. I
wands.
know. I love a 6. I don't know why, but for some reason that number really makes me feel like good luck is coming.
And I love even numbers.
You do love even
I
numbers.
do love even
This,
numbers.
and again, 6, it has to do with wealth. It has to do with abundance. It has to do with good luck. The 6 of wands means victory and success is yours. The figure stands triumphant as the 6 wands light up around him to mark his victory. And if you're watching, you can see him standing like with his arms up, like, look at my back muscles,
Yeah, like a
victory.
bodybuilder doing like the
Yeah,
bicep.
the
Yeah.
bicep pose. Yeah,
Mhm.
victory, desires fulfilled. What? I
Oh
love
my God.
that.
I just feel like the cards are showing you that you're making the right choice for you to move forward. Like it's like, yes, girl, we've been waiting for you.
We hear you.
We hear
Finally.
you. You're meeting
Finally.
us. We've been here. Lady Universe, Lady God is like, girl, welcome home. We've been
I
waiting for
think
you.
anybody who reads tarot who heard me say justice for the third card knows what I'm about
Justice.
to
Oh, I
say.
don't know what you're about to say, but my breath is bated. I am ready.
Justice represents decision making.
Sorry.
The power of knowledge outside of your own emotions. Justice is an archetype. It's the 11th teacher for the fool, showing us the importance of objectivity and analysis, determining outcomes for making important decisions.
Hmm.
What?
Hmm.
Oh gosh. This is such a freaking good reading. I feel
Hmm.
like I'm being told by spirit, like, this is a new year. This is a new year. Success, wealth, this can be yours. But you have to
Abundance,
make,
triumph,
yeah, yeah, you have to
decision
make the
making.
decisions
Hmm.
that are probably hard, but they are going to change your life. And this responsibility. This has consequences that are going to affect everything. Everything. Even if this is not for me and for just the listeners, this is a new year reading like I could never have asked for. And just FYI, a queen popped out while I was shuffling.
Ooh, ooh. What is a
So
queen?
yeah, the queen,
I
queen
love it.
of hold on, let me pull up
I'm
the
taking my notes.
queen of wands that popped out while I was shuffling.
So what is it? Just the queen or the queen of something?
No, it's a queen of wands.
Of wands. I can't wait till I get my own tarot deck.
I can't wait until I finally memorize these freaking cards.
All in good time, darling. All in good time. Oh, bonus card, queen.
When she
Jaki
popped,
has
when
put her
she,
hand to her face for our audio listeners.
I am sweating again.
Oh,
The Queen of Wands is nurturing and supportive, but she means you need to act with conviction.
oh my God.
Sometimes
I'm gonna let that sit in the air for a second. Act with conviction.
with conviction. Now, typically it means with a relationship. Now, this relationship can be with a person, but I feel like I need to act with a conviction when it comes to my relationship with money
I was gonna say your relationship with yourself because we
and
had talked
myself.
about earlier about like you are distracted by other things.
Forget about it. You just dropped the mic on me. You just
Mm,
dropped the mic on me.
God.
Can we, like, if this
I
was
have
not,
chills. You have
I'm
sweats.
sweating. I am
Oh,
sweating.
so
My
good.
armpits.
Oh
This was
my gosh.
such a good reading. I am
Dude,
so
spirits,
excited for 2024.
spirits pouring the spirit. I'm gonna top up again. I already topped up once on this show. So it was such a fantastic show. I have got
I
spirits are
know.
speaking to me.
I feel like I'm
Spirits
really
and
ready for
spirits.
2024. I know a lot of people are like, ugh, a new year. I personally am getting ready to celebrate a new, fresh beginning. This new,
Mhm.
fresh beginning has nothing to do with a relationship that I have right now. It doesn't have anything to do with me trying to struggle to keep a family afloat. It doesn't have, this new year is literally, I have said it multiple times and I am getting emotional saying it again. It's my butterfly year. The chrysalis has broken open January 1st.
I'm
Jaki
so
in
excited for you.
December is about to be so fucking proud, and I can't wait to meet her there.
Oh, such great whiskey bent portion. Such a fucking fantastic
Yes.
spellbinding, Jackie. Those cards, they were having it today. Oh
I
my
love how they
gosh.
talk to us every week. It's so
They
good.
really do. And how timely. But
Hmm.
I know we're going to call it a day here. Our listeners can meet us over on our Patreon. We'll drop the notes in the show. We'll drop the links in the show notes to join us over on
Yeah.
Patreon. We're going to talk about Rachel's goals for the new year.
Yes.
However, if you want to meet us over there for sponsored content to support the podcast, we'd appreciate it. But so we can do the second half of this podcast here. But also, Jackie, do you mind if I read a review from the podcast that
I
we
would love, first of all, I love when people leave us reviews. So
have?
please read a review.
This is a 5-star review from our listener Crystal D on Amazon podcast for Amazon Podcasts. Not Amazon. I'm so sorry. This is whiskey. Apple Podcasts. Amazon. No, we just do all the shopping there. We also will also link because we have Amazon affiliates now.
We
You can shop
do.
our apartment, all of our things. Um, we've said to maybe to shop less, but that doesn't mean you have to.
But you can shop all the
Shop
things that
whatever you
we've
want.
shown you so far. Look at our social medias. We got lots of things that we're posting that we already have. And if you're like, love all of Rachel's apartment, I know she's got a Rachel's apartment shopping list. I'll have a Jackie Spooky Office shopping list.
Oh, so many
So,
things.
yeah.
Okay, so this is a 5-star review off, again, Apple Podcast from our listener, Crystal D. So she says, listening to this is like being in a room with your best girlfriends where you can be your full, unfiltered self, especially for those of us in our late 30s slash early 40s. Cough, early 40s for me, who have friends scattered across the country with full lives of their own. It is so refreshing and revitalizing to listen to these ladies and feel like they are a part of your own little group. Oh, that is
We
exactly what I
are.
wanted. That's our goal for the
That's
podcast. Like we're your
exactly right.
besties.
Yes.
So, listeners, we would love and appreciate if you could leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcast on Spotify, on Apple, iTunes, podcasts, on YouTube. That would be wonderful. We'd appreciate it, and maybe we'll read your review on the podcast as well. So, with that, thank you so much for an incredible year for launching the podcast. We are
Yes.
so lucky, more blessed than I think we're more successful than I ever thought we could be because I was doing this for fun and now I'm like, ooh, where are we gonna go?
It's on.
It is on. I'm so excited. So buckle up for what is coming in the future. And thank you. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, watchers, for making this first year, this first 3 months of the podcast incredible for us. Thank
Incredible.
you
It's
for
been the
following
best.
along and being with us. Our hearts are with you. And I'm so very grateful for your support.
Yes. And don't forget to tell us what your big goals are for the new year because I can't
Yes.
do this on my own.
You can DM us at whiskey.bent.spellbound, and you can also email us
Mhm.
directly with your, I don't even want to call them New Year's resolutions, goals for yourself in
Yeah.
2024 at check this out at blackandwhitefield.com.
Hmm.
And we
Yeah.
would love to hear from you.
And if you have anything that you guys want us to talk about, email us.
Email us.
Email us just if to email us, quite frankly.
We
Use
want
it.
to hear from you. We're so excited. So, with that, Jackie, I have the chills. You have the sweats. We are going
I'm
to do a
sweating.
clinkies on our way out.
Please.
Ooh, yes. Thank you once again for listening to a fantastic, fabulous episode of Whiskey Bent
Spellbound with Black.
and Whitefield. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.